Being here in America doesn't make you an American. Being born here in America doesn't make you an American. Why, if birth made you American, you wouldn't need any legislation. You wouldn't need any amendments to the Constitution. No, I'm not an American. I'm one of the 22 million black people who are the victims of Americanism. One of the 22 million black people who are the victims of democracy. Nothing but disguised hypocrisy. And I see America through the eyes of a victim. I don't see any American dream. I see an American nightmare.
Shalom, shalom, my Hebrew Israelite family, and those who do not know what a Hebrew Israelite is. Those are the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are the ones that came out of the 12 tribes, and they're scattered abroad. So I want to welcome you to Yahweh's Golden Treasures, and the topic that I want to share with you is the conspiracy to destroy black males and young boys by genocide. We're talking about conspiracy to destroy a certain race of people. The deliberate and systematic destruction of a racial, political, or central group. To use the word conspiracy to describe certain aspects of our society is a strong indictment, brothers and sisters, a strong indictment against the social fabrics of this country. It's been a conspiracy since we got off the boat. It was a conspiracy before we even got on the boat. Genocide and conspiracy. Many of the challengers want me to document who were the plotters of this conspiracy. Where was the meeting of this conspiracy? And when did it take place? The first conspiracy started in Egypt. Go with me to the book of Exodus. Now I'm coming out of Yahweh's holy scriptures. So we're going to Exodus 1:15. Follow me, brothers and sisters. Then the king of Pharaoh spoke, black Pharaoh, not this one that's talking about, Moses, Ramsey, spoke to the midwives of the Hebrews. The name of the first was Shiphrah. And the name of the second was Puah. Both of them. Now these are workers, like midwives that deliver children. When you do your duties of a midwife for the Hebrew women and see them on the birthing stool, if it's a boy, then kill him. Conspiracy. But if it's a girl, then let her live. 17. But the midwives had reverence for Yahweh. And the reason why we use Yahweh is because the letter J only been here for 500 years. And in the original manuscript, there is no J's in Hebrew. They came up with the letter J to pronounce, to come up with a God that fit their culture and their midwives appearance. Did not do as Pharaoh commanded them to do, but they let the male children live. Now drop down to verse 22, commanded all his political team of people, his army men who went out and did what they did, saying, every son who is born to the Hebrew, you must throw into the Nile River, but every daughter you shall let live. Now we're looking at the white pharaohs today, brothers and sisters. The white pharaohs that has a conspiracy to destroy our male children. But at this present time, we're looking at the foster care system with the foster parents. Now, my walk in life, I'm not perfect. After my mom died, I ended up turning to drugs. I got strung out on crack cocaine. This is what the white pharaohs want to take place in the whole population of black men and women. That's why they got us in projects, because you are a project to them. So instead of you being called an African American, we'll just call you a project, because that's what you are to them. You are a project to them, black woman and black man. While you busy going around bang, 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 you are a project to them. We looking at the foster care system, how they take your children away from you and give them to someone else. And then they come up with a program for you to get your children back. Some make it and some don't. Just recently they had a report of young black women, teenager girls, getting pregnant while being in the foster care system right there on Reeves Road, getting pregnant by the workers. And then they shut them up and put them in the projects and dare them to say anything about it. My children, which I had 8 children, they took all 8 and put them in their project system and made me believe that I was going to get my children back. I did whatever I had to do to meet their line of standard. But make a long story short, they tricked me and took my children and gave my children to other families. My sons, Balan and Masu, they took them and changed their names to Gyland and Benjamin. And Gyland and Benjamin are 16 years old at Harding High School right now. They have been adopted out to some of my family members, and my family members act like I'm somebody on the outside. Can't even get my children back because they got them stamped and sealed, getting their money each month and sending my twin boys to school with the thrift store clothes on. Thrift store, used clothes. I know you can get some good things at the thrift store, but when my children come over here in a good neighborhood looking like bums, looking like little thugs, the foster parents are only doing it for the income. And they are creating children to go out to steal what they need. Deodorant, clothes, tennis shoes. My sons are going out stealing this stuff when they shouldn't have to. Because of the foster parent got high expensive bills, elaborate living, elaborate eating, high on the hog. And my sons are walking around with mismatched socks on, mismatched shoes on, shoes that somebody else done wore and they smell funky. And my twins go to Harding High School, special education, teachers not teaching them how to read, don't know how to write. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, not spending that money so them children can learn how to read, and you want them to stay dumb and stupid. And then you got black children standing on every street corner going buck wild. High school teen females getting pregnant while still in high school. Shame on the system. You make enough money to have a daycare class in high school where they can get their babies ready and bring their babies to high school so they can still make it. Every big city have one. What's wrong with Warren? What's wrong with Youngstown? What's wrong with Akron? What's wrong with Cincinnati where you can't have this? You're working with the beast. You're working with the system. Genocide. A conspiracy. You're dirty. You're no good. You low down, Lucifer. Everybody being ran by the system. And then you want to be, see, the system is a copycat. How do I know? Because Lucifer wanted to be just like Yahweh, copycat. So what he does, he produces his seed after that seed, and that seed after that seed. A copycat. Everybody want to be like the rappers. Everybody want to be like Jay-Z and don't even know anything. See, when you call your mother a bitch or a prostitute, and kill your mother, kill your father, kill the next brother because you want to get your pockets fat. And everybody running around trying to look like Beyonce. See, Satan is a copycatter, and what that make you? A worker of inequities, a worker of sin, producing its own seed, just like Cain. So the system won't help the black female have a daycare in high school. So we got to get grandma and mama, because we done already raised you the best way we can to watch your baby while you go back to school and get pregnant again. Instead of getting it right. A lot of young sisters walking around with the seed of Cain. Because see, these brothers, the ones that's trying to, you know, bada boom, bada bing with the gun and be rappers on the block, killing your people, but producing a seed of destruction. Having many places of worship, churches, on every corner. Prostitutes. Prostitutes on every corner. Number 4, not being able to stand against our enemies. Who is our enemies? The same ones that came over there with that conspiracy to get your ass on the boat. Still coming up with the conspiracy to kill one another. So they don't have to come out here and do it. They letting your sons and daughters do it. While you still under a project umbrella. You the project, just go to the projects. Number 5, a sick and disease-stricken people that can't get healed. In the mental institutions, taking psychotropics that make you polluted with other stuff. Oh, we ain't back in the old days. The old days has been dressed up to look brand new. We're looking at the white pharaohs, brothers, sisters, mothers, pimps, punks. We're looking at the pharaohs. And it's time for you to wake up so your children can come out of the projects and stop being a project. White pharaohs and their conspiracy to assassinate our young generation through music and entertainment. And when you ride down the streets, Youngstown, Akron, wherever you want to go, all you see is titties and ass. We see the whole system of projects being a copycat. Sodom and Gomorrah. And what happened to that city? Get your emergency supplies together, families. Canned goods, water supply, whatever it takes, matches, lighter fluid, blankets, sheets, because a catastrophe is about to take place. Something is getting ready to happen. Akron, Canton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, all over. It's getting ready to happen. Don't wait until the last moment. Going to get your hair done. Going to get your nails done. Brothers got to get that extra pair of tennis shoes because your feet got to look good. See, that's one thing about us. Oh, at least I'm going out looking good. All we see on the streets, in the marketplaces, is titties and ass. And no one is concerned about education. No one is concerned about reading or writing or math. None of that. Not even the foster child. And he has a great opportunity to make it. All he wants to do is make sure that he has either his weed or his music or his phone so he can text his boys, or that girl on his shoulder, or robbing and stealing, part of the project. Because when you get a child that's 6 and 7 years old, you can shape and mold him. But like my son said, it's a conspiracy with the system. And you see the two midwives, they didn't do what Pharaoh commanded. They didn't. But they honored Yahweh. I don't care if you call him God, Jesus, whatever, because they're not going to save you. Jesus can't save. Only Yahweh can. You need to find out. Google J. Google Tamaz. Google Tamaz. The foster child has been put in the system, in and out of jails, in and out of mental institutions, and then they try to give him that psychotropic Ritalin. Oh, he's depressed because he ain't got his addict mama. You know, it's pitiful. We got criminals on our hands. And we got the seed of destruction upon us. And foster parents, you gonna get yours because you done crossed the line. And those who hold the conspiracy, you got yours coming too. Because it's not gonna rest with man. Because of the need of the adults, they want to take care of their cars, their biological children, and other self-centered needs. While the foster child learns how to lie, cheat, steal. It's pitiful. I love my children. My children will always be mine. They worked summer jobs this summer, and they're not able to go and spend their money on themselves the way they wanted to. Benjamin, aka Balan, wanted some nice tennis shoes so he can hold his head up, so he won't feel inferior to Harding High School and them other nuts that's up in there. And my other son, Gylan, aka Masula. Masula means he with the bright eyes. They've killed him. They killed his heart and took his soul, made him into nothing. Our sons and our daughters need to be lifted up. Not told by the foster parent that they're nothing. And young woman, stop having these babies and not being able to love them correctly. Not being able to teach them who they are and where they're from and what happened and what's going to happen. Because you busy trying to look good so you can be loved. Love your children. Love them. And the mother that's out there still trying to just get one more smoke, leave it alone. Because it's taking you out. We can make it. We don't have anything. We don't have no black-owned businesses. But you got that jacked up church where everybody go to show and tell. Them big gigantic hats on. Take them off and sit down and learn to read right according to the rules and regulations of Yahweh. It's time for change. It's time to get your house in order, brothers. I'm telling you, single mothers, we can pull together as one people, just like the Gentiles. And we can make something positive happen for our community. There's enough of separation on every street corner because they're not doing anything. The church that's on every street corner, that's a prostitute. Look up Cersei. Get this book. Come out of her, my people. And it will tell you about the church. It will tell you about Constantine and his trickery with the government and the Roman Pope. This is a must. Dr. Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. I'm talking about coming together as a people, coming together as one, as a nation. You are allowing your brothers and your sisters and your children to kill, to look like the world. It's time to stop. You can come out of it. Our children that's in foster care has been given different names like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about getting ready for this atomic bomb that's getting ready to blow your asses away. You better get your house in order. Get your supplies ready. I know what I'm talking about. Standing on it, living it. Just like Yahweh communicated with Moshe, just like he communicated with Yeshua, just like he communicated with Isaiah. You better learn who B-A-A-L is. You better ask yourself who is Tammuz. Get to Googling some of this stuff. Because your time is out. You can call me 330-883-6907. Send me some emails. dandiesofthefields@yahoo.com. I'm waiting for you. We got teachers ready to teach you how to read, math, how to get on the computer and surf so you can go out and get a proper job. We can pull together as a people, as a nation, and stop going down there buying all that stuff in them stores to make yourself look good on the outside when you jacked up on the inside. At this time and moment, I'm going to leave you alone. But until next time, I'll see you. And you will see me. Because I'm not going to ride and hide up under a rock I'm not going to hide between the New Testament, because I know the Testament, that New Testament, don't have nothing to do with the solid Torah. It's all about them 12 tribes. Because Yahweh said he will restore us back to a nation of people. And the Gentiles will know it. Because you're going to have to come to that one. Just like Cornelius had to go to Kepha to be taught. Acts 10. Read it. Read it. Read it. Because he was an Italian. A white man looked like an olive. Until next time, peace and blessings to you.
We want one thing. We declare our rank on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
I'm Isaiah Jeffrey Hubbard, also known as Young Money. Like when I was in CSB foster care, before I turned 18, it was probably the worst time of my life because I didn't really have a childhood, and I was taken away from my parents, and my brothers was separated from me, and I went through my whole teenage life without my brothers or my sisters or none of them. And the foster parents, they didn't really care much about me or nor letting me visit my brothers or any of that. They didn't even let me have contact with my mom, and it was all bad because like I really needed my mom a lot of times while I was in foster care. But as time was going on, the foster parents and CSB, all they would ever tell you was like the negative things about your parents and what they did wrong, and that's all they would ever put in your head was your parents was bad, or like they're not good, and they just try to plant that in your head. Cause I had began foster, like being in CSB at a young age, around, I'm gonna say around 7, around 7. That's when I started being in CSB, and I would visit my mom for like the first 3-4 years, and all they would ever tell you is how your mom was bad. But in my eyes, I always knew, like, I didn't really see that. I knew things would get better and it would be better eventually. I never really let go, and you know, I've been in and out of different homes. Know where to go. Laying underneath random people's roofs and living in people's homes. Like it was bad for me. I really didn't have much, really, and I didn't have no money, no shoes, no clothes, none of that. It was a struggle for me and for my brothers. And right now, I'm kind of lucky that I'm 18 now and that I got my mom with me, because we can sit up here and now discuss about how the foster parents is really doing my brothers, and how I'm actually witnessing a lot of the negative and the horrible things that foster parents is really doing to us and my family, and how they can separate the kids from their parents. And it's just really bad, and somebody really needs to do something about this, because I've been separated from my mom for 10 years, and when I had got back with my mom, I kind of realized how good she really got over the years. I know she had some bad times in her life, but you know, she got back on her feet and she doing really good. So what they was telling me when I was in foster care and CSB is a dead lie. It's just a lie, and she's like, I feel bad for my brothers, and I hope they turn 18 soon and move out out the home that they is in, cause they really bad. And within the last couple years, I've been in and out of jail non-stop. It's hard for real, because once you get in jail, that you get this rep and you get this record, and if you do the littlest things, they don't keep sending you in and out of jail because they know they can get money off you. And they will always send me in jail for like stupid petty domestic violences or leaving the house and walking down the street. An example would be like, say me and my foster mom would just be talking 1 minute. Next thing you know, her daughter, or say her husband, would step in between our conversation, and it would get out the way and out of control, and a little talking back, a little this and that. They wouldn't handle it the right way. They'll be quick to call the cops because they know that the easiest way to get you out the house is through the police. And the police, all they will ever do is come. They'll believe the parents, because they're the ones watching you, and they're the parents. They'll just take you to JJC just like that without any questions. They won't ask you anything. When I went to jail, it was really over stupid stuff that I really didn't do, or and a lot of times when I went to jail, it was more like planned out. Like they planned it. Like, say we were arguing, that they would get together. Basically, my mom and like her daughter or her husband would get together, and they would be like, we just gonna call the cops and have them come pick him up. Like, no, I would sit there and cry and beg not to call the cops. And no matter what I did, they would call the cops and get me taken out the house, because that was the easiest way to get me out the house. They also did it to my little brother several times for just dumb, stupid, petty stuff. There was about 6 or 7 children in the house, and the easiest way to take the kids out, because there was so much there was kids and a lot of noise here and there. But the easiest way to take the kid out was to call the cops and get them arrested for no reason. So basically, I'll be spending 3 months in jail for petty domestic violence, and instead of waiting a couple hours for the husband to get off work to handle the situation. So basically, you don't have a win-win situation. So basically, you don't lose no matter what. Everyone knew me as their kid because my mom was not in my life. Honestly, in my eyes, they didn't treat me like a son. They just treated me like a visitor that was living underneath their roof. I didn't feel like I belonged to anybody but myself, and I was only doing me until I really got out the system. I've been arrested and taken to jail about 5 to 6 times. In my eyes, they was only there. At first, I wasn't sure if they was there for the money or for just they love me or not. But as I got 18, they started acting funny towards me. Like, they want money. That's all they came at me was for the money. And when I had moved in with my mom, all they would call me and text me was, you owe me this and that amount of money. I was in an accident at a young age. I got hit by a car. The car had stopped at a red light, but his intentions was to keep going on after the fact. When I was in foster care, and I got adopted by these people, they had taken my mother's name off the paper of so when I had got 18, it would have went to my mom. It would have went straight to them. And when they had taken the name off the paper, their intentions was to get the check and cash it how they wanted to and use the money how they wanted to use it. My father said, my father and mom said that they wanted to put it in their bank account, and they were to put my name on something, and that I could take out this and that amount of money. But in my eyes, it was my check, so I could have spent it how I wanted to spend it. Not y'all put up this amount of money and you don't let me get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. No, I'm the one that been through the pain. If my mom's not in my life, that's my check. Like, I'm not gonna let y'all sit up here and basically take money from the state because y'all was fostering us all this long, then turn around and try to take my money that I've been waiting for about 10 years. That's not how things work. And when I was in foster care, I always had my own eye, and I always did things my way. No matter who I was living with, I didn't really listen to no one. I was always a hard-headed kid, and I always knew that I was gonna find my biological mother's eventually, and that's what had happened. My foster parents and children's services both knew that the money was there, and they knew what they wanted to use me for. So they wanted to use me and destroy my life basically and get this money, and they thought the stuff was sweet at the time until I turned 18. I'm still in high school. Right now my mom is having me still go to school and still doing everything I need to graduate, and you know, I actually like it here. For those kids that's in the struggle, all I can really say is to have your heads up, and one day you'll make it out the struggle. A lot of teens nowadays, I blame a lot of the education. If they fall back on the education, it's because their parents ain't teaching them the right thing. But if they there and want the education, that means they got good parents, and they got their mind made up what they want to do in life. A lot of these teachers out here showing a little bit more concern for the students, and not more of I'm gonna get more money or can I get a raise here and there. I would like to see the teachers show a little bit more concern for the students' education. What value I place on money? Really, I look at money as, because I was growing up a broke kid and in the struggle, and I had to make my own money because my own foster parents and whoever I was living with wasn't giving me the money I need. So basically, I had to hustle my way to get my money and nice clothes and this and that I didn't have. And I look at money like money is really how you survive, and if you ain't got money, you really ain't got much. And really, money can make you do a lot of things and do be crazy. And I try not to be crazy over money, but really, coming up from where I came from, that's really all you have is to try to get your money up. I really had to do certain things to try to make it look like I had money, and I was putting on a big front like I had money. And when I was going to school, the kids thought I was balling and all this other stuff, but selling drugs or by doing dumb things on the side or stealing out the house. I like to look my best, and I like to be my best. So no matter what, I get that from my mom. I like to show out, and I like to let people know that I'm the best at what I can do. Money is all I know of when I was growing up. I'm a pretty good drawer, and when I was locked up in JJC and stuff, they would have me like draw pictures for them because that's all I did on my free time was draw, and I ain't have much to really do, and that's like my talent is to sketch and draw things. I can do some things on the computer that a lot of people really can't do. Like, I used to like hack the school's computers to get on Facebook and other stuff because they got the lock on it that kids can't really get on. I always find a way around it, or I'll just hack into the system. The JJC, the whole system between that and the police enforcement and everything that goes along with that, I feel like they trying to bring down these kids too. Like, when I was locked up and stuff, they was letting all the child molesters and the rapists and all the people that would walk up in there, they would let them go just like that. But people that was in there for like stealing a candy bar or for like stupid things like probation violation would be in there for a couple of months. Like, I look at that type of stuff like they really is trying to bring these kids down. It's a shame.
We are confronted primarily with a moral issue. It is as old as the scriptures and is as clear as the American Constitution. The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities, whether we are going to treat our fellow Americans as we want to be treated. If an American, because his skin is dark, cannot eat lunch in a restaurant open to the public, if he cannot send his children to the best public school available, if he cannot vote for the public officials who represent him, if, in short, he cannot enjoy the full and free life which all of us want, then who among us would be content to have the color of his skin changed?
Brothers and sisters, now this is a continuation, and I'm just going to take it from the top because we're still talking about the conspiracy to destroy the black man and the young boy, and how the educational system also uses this same conspiracy. Actually, they're all working together. Okay, we're talking about the white pharaohs and how the white pharaohs has rose up like a serpent, like a snake, and they're biting us continuously. Now, number one, can you explain how less than 30% of the world's population, which is Gentile, owns over 90% of the world's wealth? Now, you have to understand that the white man has not always been on the top, but they have robbed, killed, stole, raped, and done whatever they had to do to get what the original black man has. And they've brought you down to nothing. Number two, can you explain how every United States president has been Gentile male up until now? Number three, is there a relationship between Hebrew Americans being labeled 3/5 of a person and their line of income in comparison to the Gentiles? Number four, why do some Gentiles feel the need to physically castrate Hebrew African American males? Why? And number five, was it an accident that all the men that constituted the Tuskegee experiment were African Hebrew Americans, and they possessed syphilis, and went untreated by the U.S. Center for Disease Control for 60 years, taking the syphilis back to their families and their wives and their children. Number 6, question. Is it ironic that only 2 or 3 Gentiles, persons, have ever received the death penalty for killing an African, Hebrew, American? I haven't heard of any. Look what they did to Trayvon. Number 7. Are the videotapes of racial discrimination as shown on national television and housing, banking, employment, and shopping a fragment of our imagination? Question. Number 8. Is it an accident that African, Hebrew, American males comprise 60% of the U.S. population but represent 35% of special ed? Because they love throwing your children in special ed, don't they? And 50% of them are inmates, and maybe even the rate are higher now. Number 9. Is it an accident that on average a Gentile male with a high school diploma earns more than anyone else in America on average with a college degree? Question. Was it ironic that the FBI used their program COINTELPRO to infiltrate African, Hebrew, Americans, organizations with their stated objectives to create interior conflict and prevent a messianic leader? Question. There is a broad range of people, brothers and sisters, ranging from historians, politicians, academics, and writers who have provided the theoretical justification for Gentile supremacy. While you busy running around trying to look good, trying to act good, while our young males running around with their behinds out. Now listen what Abraham Lincoln wrote, since you loved him so much. There is a physical difference between the white and the Negro race. There must be the position of superior and inferior. Now this is Ralph Epperson, New World Order. We can no longer afford freedom, and so it must be replaced with control over his conduct. Who is his? The black man, the Hebrew man, and his culture. Wiping out our culture while our sisters busy running around with the fake hair in. I mean, it's okay sometimes, but who are you anyway? Who the hell are you? Who are you, sister? While you busy running around wrapped up in all this worldly stuff with your fake hair on, you know, your eyes all did up. It's okay. But do you know who you are? Do you know your culture? You don't even care to know it anymore, do you? Because you busy trying to get into bed with the enemy. And it says, here's Ralph Epperson. 2 centuries ago, our forefathers brought forth a new nation. Now we must join with others to bring forth a new world order. Sound like Hitler. Sound like Hitler. Sound like Nimrod, sound like Lucifer, sound like Constantine and the Pope of Rome that you guys are promoting, hello, you're going to find yourself in a sinkhole and you can't get out. Now, if you don't know what COINTELPRO means, I'm going to break it down for you. Because, see, I've done my homework. And it's going to pay off one way or another. And I'm not asking you for no money. Because you ain't got nothing to give me, world, but a bunch of problems. So here it is. COINTELPRO means counterintelligence program. Illegal programs conducted aimed at surveying, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting domestic political organizations. Don't know who killed Dr. Martin Luther King. Don't know who assassinated Malcolm X. These are the ones, COINTELPRO. These are the ones that look good, sound good, and put everything on the media. This is a must, brothers and sisters. This is a must that you get this book, because it's going to break down the barriers of the conspiracy to annihilate your sons and your daughters, countering the conspiracy to destroy black boys. This is a series. This is a series. Google it and get it. This is a must. See, while you sitting up there watching The Young and the Restless, As the World Turn, oh, and I don't want to get involved, oh, I got my own way of worshiping, fine. But you're carrying the seed of the mark of the beast. And while you sitting up there elaborating on nothing, prepare for a catastrophe that is about to take place here in the United States. So you have to be aware of what's getting ready to happen. Those who are infiltrating, I'm telling you to get your beddings together, blankets, water, lighter fluid, emergency supplies on food. Get it together, brothers and sisters. Don't wait until the last moment, because the time is now. There is a catastrophe that is about to break out unexpectedly. And I put my name on it. The Shepherdess, a.k.a. Ruby Ann Thomas. You know who I am. Until next time, peace and blessings to you.